Hi everybody, this is a video to explain the process of description. This is a very important process because in many cases you're going to need to describe things or situations. So I'm going to ask you to pay attention to the process, to the steps, and to the way you describe things or situations. As you can read, the description is a process by which we transmit in an orderly form data, characteristics, or an event, object, or situation. You can use it in many cases. You can use it for every single subject you work with, like biology, mathematics, history, or everything. Now, you will see what is the process about. It has some steps that you have to follow in order to describe something carefully. The first step to do a description is to define the purpose. What are the reasons why you would like to describe something? Is it for an academic reason? It is for just talking to someone to explain something to anyone else? Probably you may like to teach your classmates. So if you know how to describe something, you're going to be good at teaching, for example. Then you are going to formulate some questions. The questions are going to help you to clarify what you want to say about the thing, about the situation, about the image, or about the process you're describing. Then you are going to identify characteristics, physical characteristics like colors, shapes, forms, or even some other kind of characteristics. If we're talking about a person, it could be the height, the weight, or the approximate weight, the color of the skin, the color of their eyes, the color of the hair, and many other things. Then you're going to organize the characteristics according to the questions. Remember that we formulate some questions at the beginning. Look at this here. We started, well, the second step is to formulate the questions. Then we're going to organize the information according to those questions. Now that you have the information organized, you are ready to formulate a description. Now you're going to watch a photograph. You're going to watch it carefully. So let's look at the picture, at the image. We call this the photo A, and I would like you to watch it carefully. Look what it has in it. Look at the colors, look at the shapes, look at the things that are in this photograph. I'm going to give you a few seconds to watch it. Now that we have watched this photo, we're ready to follow the process of description in order to do it. So look at the following steps written. Well, as you may remember, the first step is to determine the purpose. And the purpose of this description is actually to describe photo A. Then, second step is to formulate questions. What is it? We most of the times start with this question, what is it? So when you want to define or to describe something, the first thing you have to do is to say, what is that? What is what you're going to describe? And then you're going to ask, what elements does it have? What particularities does it have? Now we identify the characteristics, remember the picture, and now we're going to organize those characteristics according to the questions. So, if you answer the very first question, which is the what is it? Well, it is a landscape. So we are answering those questions. And then the second question is, what elements does it have? And now we have, there's part of a very old castle by a lake. There's a pathway that leads to it. Looks like gloomy day, and the photo is in black and white. Those two, this one and this one, can be the answer of the particularities that the photo has. Now we're going to read the description that has been formulated. Well, let's read the description. It says, the photo has an aerial view of a castle tower. It is by a lake surrounded by mountains in the distance. The castle tower is overlooking the still lake, perched on high ground. It has an unobstructed view of the lake. The sky is overcast. There's a winding path that leads up to the castle. There are a few medium-sized trees near the castle. Now, I would like you to remember what is to describe being objective. And if you remember, when you describe objectively, you don't mix your feelings or your understandings or your own thoughts about what you're describing. You have to tell facts, colors, shapes, but you don't have to say anything about what you feel or what you think about the image. And then the other type of description was the subjective one. If you remember, the subjective description means that you're going to describe something, but when you're describing this way, you say or you tell things about what you're feeling or what you think the people in the picture is feeling, or what you believe that it's happening in the image you're describing. So don't forget this. You can describe something objectively or subjectively. Don't forget it. In order to help you practice the process of describing, you're going to do an activity. I'm going to show you another picture, and then you're going to follow the steps I'm going to tell you. So I'll show you the picture. Well, here's the picture you're going to describe, and you're going to follow the process that I'm going to give you in the next part of this video. This activity is going to be done in pairs. So first, write the process of description again, just the way we have checked it. Then you're going to apply the process of description of the following photo, the previous photo. Due to next class, on computer, names and ID numbers on the upper right-hand side, and everything will be graded, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. So you're going to have to hand this in next Thursday because we don't have class on Monday, okay? So if you have questions, please ask.